Today in Awesome Stories, we are going to talk about an American horror movie called 1BR. Spoilers ahead. A girl, Sarah, arrives at a complex looking to rent an apartment. After trying to open the locked door, she hears a buzz sound and the security allows her to go in. A guy explains that they put a new system in place because of a break-in, but the neighborhood is much more secure now. She walks into the complex and sees people happily walking and talking. An old woman wobbles throughout the place and Sarah runs to help her sit in a chair by the pool. Entering the open house, a lot of people are interested in the apartment and Jerry, the manager, offers help if she has any questions. The place is a pet-free and smoke-free complex. Jerry checks her information from the form and asks her if she has any pets and she denies it. At night, she works on her computer when her cat, Giles, jumps in her bed. After taking the cat off of it, she receives a call from her dad. He's unhappy that she's ignoring his calls and asks her when she's coming home. She tells him she got a new job as a temp in a law firm. But her dad doesn't want her to be alone in Los Angeles. He's afraid that she's punishing him after her mother died, but she decides to end the conversation. At her job, Sarah is impressed when her colleague, Lisa, asserts herself over her boss. After introducing herself to Lisa, Sarah receives a call confirming that she has been accepted into the complex. Carrying Giles in a box to her new apartment, she bumps into Brian. He invites her to the neighborhood barbecue and asks some guys to help carry her things into the house. When she arrives at the barbecue, a guy with glasses offers her a book called The Power of Community, but she denies it. After walking around and talking to the other neighbors, she goes talk to Brian and there's clearly a sexual tension between them. Sarah helps Eddie walk to her house and sees that she was once an actress. After sketching some drawings, Sarah prepares herself to go to sleep, but she hears noises from gates banging against each other. She sits up startled from loud plumbing noises coming from the walls. In the morning, she's calling a pharmacy to get a refill of Zoloft when Jerry comes to help her carry her mattress. She asks him if he hears the loud noises coming from the plumbing, but he doesn't hear anything. The next night, she puts on earplugs and calls Giles to sleep with her. When the cat doesn't respond, she decides to look for him and sees that the door is opened. Looking on the door's peephole, she sees Eddie and goes after her. Sarah takes Eddie to her apartment and refills her medicine when she sees the book that the creepy neighbor tried to give her. Eddie tells her that his name is Lester and he's only a bit sad for losing his wife to cancer, making Sarah feel sorry for him. Sarah tries to sleep, but the rattling noises in her apartment keep getting louder. In the morning, she receives a note from an angry neighbor that found her cat and it's allergic to it. She gets out of the apartment and looks for the person and sees Lester in the hallway, but he goes back to his apartment before she can talk with him. She bumps into Brian and he invites her to his dinner party. At her job, her boss tells her to stay late without overpay and she complies, receiving looks of disapproval from Lisa. At night, she walks home with Lisa when she remembers Brian's dinner party. Brian gets out of the apartment and invites for dessert later. At her apartment, Sarah complains that she's always tired because of the pipes and she's forgetting the things she is supposed to do. Lisa tells her to stop being so passive and stand up to her dad and her boss. Sarah wakes up in the middle of the night and smells something burning inside her apartment. As she gets up to check the beeping noise coming from the kitchen, she sees another note on the stove saying that pets are not allowed in the complex. She opens the oven and is horrified to see her cat being cooked inside. Suddenly, someone drags her to a chair and ties her up as she begs for mercy. The man turns up the light and she sees Brian, who grabs a suitcase in silence. While he's filling a needle, she drops to the floor and breaks the chair, freeing herself. When he goes to tase her, she kicks him in the knee and runs to the door. She runs through the hallway screaming for help and encounters Esther, one of the neighbors. Instead of helping her, Esther grabs her and helps Brian tase her and take her inside. As more neighbors show up, Sarah asks them why they are not helping her, and they say they are. As Brian injects her, Sarah wakes up in a white room using prison clothes with windows barricaded and a metal door. Groggy, she screams for help as footsteps approach the door. Brian and Jerry enter the room and tell her that it is useless to scream since nobody can hear her. Jerry tells her that she quit her job and cut ties with people that cared about her. He tells her to turn around and face the wall, but she doesn't want to. Jerry brings Lester into the room and shows Sarah what he did to Lester when he tried to escape. Brian tells her to put her hands on the wall, step back and look ahead, staying in a stressful and painful position. He says that they will be watching her and she shouldn't move while the lights are on. While she's in the position, music starts playing, indicating that she should stay still until it stops. After some time, the song stops and food comes through the door. A few sessions later, Eddie comes into the room and explains to her that everyone in the complex goes through the process, including her. Sarah says that they're crazy, but Eddie tells her crazy is not being a part of a community and throwing away her family, like she did. While standing on the wall, Sarah gets tired and wants to sleep, but flashing lights and buzzing sounds wake her up. Eddie tells her that the sooner she gives up, the sooner she will be free. Tired, Sarah falls on the floor and the men enter the room. She begs to end the torture and Jerry takes out a gun, making her go back to the wall. Brian nails both her hands to the wall and Jerry tells her that she's home. After being to the wall for hours, Sarah hears her dad's voice through the pipe saying he's taking her home and she should get ready to run. As her dad's voice encourages her, she takes both her hands off the wall and passes out on the floor. When the light is on again, she goes to the wall, but Jerry enters the room and tells her to stop. He hugs her and says he's proud of her for passing the test. The women clean her and tend to her wounds and Esther says that she did a good job taking the nails out of her hands. Sarah is taken to another room where Jerry asks her personal questions like her sexual preferences and her sexual experiences. She hesitates and he tells her that openness is one of the foundations of their community. Throughout the day, she observes how the other members of the community behave and studies the book. Jerry tells her that the community has to be strong enough to venture into the world and change it. During an interrogation session, Sarah tells them about her father, how he cheated on her mother with the nurse and she never told him. They ask her if she wants to be part of the community and she says no. Sarah starts helping with the cooking in the same place where Lester helps teach the kids to learn the principles of the community. As Sarah adapts herself, Jerry gives her more responsibility like watching the neighbors on camera monitors. In the security room, Sarah notices a camera watching them and asks Brian who is on the other side, but he doesn't know either. Sarah sees Eddie struggling to breathe and asks Brian to call Esther. While in the room, the neighbors visit Eddie and Brian says a few words about Eddie and her time with them. Sarah is shocked to see that they will kill her because she can no longer contribute to the community and there's no resources to take care of her. Smiling, Eddie says goodbye to the other members and they put a bag on her head and watch her die. Brian tells Sarah how the community saved his life and encourages her to embrace the members because they will make her happy. In the next interrogation session, Sarah accepts being part of them and receives a brand behind the ear to prove it. At the celebration, they tell her that she will be the next wife for Lester since he lost his wife to cancer. Lester takes her to his apartment and as she's going to the bedroom, Jerry calls her and says there's a problem. Jerry shows Sarah that her dad is on the door of the complex and wants to talk with her. When he later visits her, Sarah forbids him to see her again, convincing the community not to kill him. Sarah comes back to Lester's apartment and he tells her that's their life now and they can have a good life together. Now fully integrated in the community, Sarah sees Lisa applying to rent an apartment. She watches as Lisa goes through the same process of being manipulated. Sarah warns Jerry that Lisa is stronger than her and she will fight a lot more. As Jerry and Brian struggle to make Lisa comply with the program, Jerry tells Sarah to talk to her. When Sarah goes to convince her, Lisa attacks her but Jerry knocks her out. He restrains her and orders Sarah to help him torture her. Sarah gets angry at Jerry and stabs him in the neck. As Sarah frees Lisa, the alarm goes off and they both leave the room. Jerry gets up and shoots Lisa, warning Sarah that she can't leave. She throws a hammer at him and stabs him multiple times in the chest. The neighbors come out to see what's happening and Sarah threatens them with the gun. As Jerry's wife goes to kill her with a knife, Sarah instinctively shoots her. Brian tries to convince her to give up the weapon, but she tells them that they are free and can escape the place. Brian says that it doesn't matter who's in charge, they will not let her leave. Since Brian will not let her go, she shoots him and runs towards the exit. But when she gets to the door, a neighbor grabs her and Lester takes her gun. To Sarah's surprise, Lester shoots the man and allows her to leave. After seeing Lester kill himself, she runs on the street but nobody follows her. Relieved that she's out of the complex, Sarah takes deep breaths and cries happy now that she's free. When she looks ahead, she sees a sign saying that the next complex is from the same company. The alarms of the other complexes on the street start going off now that she's out. Sarah laughs and prepares herself to fight as she runs towards her freedom. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like. It really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.